About. We have NBA major news, as everyone knows, I'm sure by now. Damian Lillard has been traded to the Milwaukee Bucks. We're going to talk about that trade. Obviously, if you guys are interested in future bets for the NBA, that impacts the East. It impacts the West because the Suns are in that trade as well. So plenty to talk about on that front. We also obviously have baseball going on today. We've already cashed on some of our early bets, but we have plenty of action tonight. So if you guys want help with your MLB bets, here to help you guys out as well. And college football, NFL, we inch ever closer to the start of both weeks. NFL Thursday night football between the Lions and the Packers is just about a little more than 24 hours away, but closing in on it. If you guys need help with your fantasy football leagues, trades, waiver wire, everything that you guys need, we are here for it, everybody. And additionally, we are also obviously here to help you guys out with all of your DFS, your lineup, but also your sports bets for the weekend. What we're going to do on TikTok is every time we hit 5,000 likes, we're going to give out some picks today. So every time we hit 10,000 likes, or 5,000 likes rather, we are going to definitely get into that as well. Don't know why that clock is on. I don't know why the subathon is on over here, but whatever. That said, we will get underway with our show. Hope you guys are watching across TikTok, YouTube, Twitch, and Kick. So happy to have you all with us every single day. If you haven't already, make sure you're a follower of Butt Fumble Sports. We got a lot that goes on every single day. We love talking sports with all of you guys. So make sure you're a follower. Make sure you're a member of this amazing community. How can you become a follower? Hit that follow button. Hit the subscribe button. That's how you can become a part of this amazing community. So make sure you do that right now. Hit that follow button. Again, don't know why the clock's up there on TikTok, so completely ignore that right now. Anyways, we're going to be giving out our bets. If you want to find our bets every single day, just hit me up on Instagram. The SHARPZ app is where I put my bets every single day. So if you want to tail my bets, as Jose has already been alluding to on TikTok, I have been scorching hot with my picks of late. So make sure you guys DM me on Instagram. I'll share a referral code if you're not already on the SHARPZ app. That way you can get all my bets every single day. That said, we have plenty to get into. Every time we hit 5,000 likes today on TikTok, we're going to give out some picks. If you're watching on Twitch, Kick, or YouTube, we're still going to answer your questions as well. Like Tim, I'd go with Jordan Addison over Miles Sanders. Carter Newman, Diggs for Mike Evans and Kamara. I like the trade because you're upgrading at the running back position and you need it. Chris Films, start 2. I'd start Ridley and I would start Tank Dell. I think it's close between Dell and Hopkins. Let's get to TikTok's questions. Jules, Kincaid, or Musgrave this week? I definitely go Musgrave if no other reason Kincaid is splitting his targets with Dawson Knox. Yoni, great to see you today. Hope you're having a wonderful afternoon. DJ Moore, Aaron Jones, or Achane. The problem I have here is Aaron Jones. Aaron Jones is the sure pick for me. Aaron Jones is an automatic. Between Achane and DJ Moore, it's a bit split. I actually lean slightly more, I think, towards DJ Moore. I don't like the matchup against Patrick Surtain, but I have to remind myself that Achane is a backup. He's an RB2. It's a tough matchup against the Bills to begin with. Mostert's going to get the majority of the touches. Who actually has the higher floor and probably the higher ceiling? It's DJ Moore. So, Yoni, I'm going to lean towards Moore and Jones. Thanks so much for the question. Thanks so much for viewing. Nick Coggins, Debo for Puka and Jordan Addison. Who won the trade? It's interesting because I think Puka and Addison could ultimately win the trade if Cooper Kupp can't stay healthy. For now, I'll say Debo because I feel like you can pencil him in pretty consistently in your lineup, Nick. But Puka and Jordan Addison might win it over the course of the year. Pick 2, Jacobs, Mostert, or Connor. I'm definitely going to go with Mostert number 1, and I'll lean towards Jacobs rather number 2. User 8097, I'd go with Mostert, and I'd go with Jacobs. Trade Mostert and Kyron for Kupp. No. Wouldn't make that move. Wouldn't make that. 2 high-volume running backs for a guy we haven't seen yet this year. Wouldn't do it. Anthony, I would go with Swift. I'd go with Swift over Tank Dell for the flex. Thanks so much for the question. Blake Miller traded Ford and Hawkinson for Kelsey and Etienne. Like that. Like that a lot, Blake Miller. Joseph, Diggs, or Puka. I got to go with Diggs. Stephon Diggs should have a high-volume day. Who can I get by trading Garrett Wilson? Maybe you can get a running back of value. Maybe sniff around, see what Saquon Barkley's value is. Ramondre Stevenson, Josh Jacobs. Maybe look around the running back, around the league. Keenan Allen for Waddle and James Cook. I have strong receivers. If you're getting Waddle, I love that to begin with. James Cook, he might not be a great running back, but could be a decent option in bye weeks. So overall, Curve M, like what you've got there. Appreciate all of you being with us across TikTok, YouTube, Twitch, and Kick. If you haven't done so already, make sure you hit the follow button. Make sure you're a follower of Butt Fumble Sports. When we hit 5,000 likes on TikTok, we are going to give out one of our favorite bets of the day. So hit that screen on TikTok. If you're watching on YouTube, Twitch, or Kick, if you have questions about any of our sports bets, you're going to see us answer them live on your screen as we will go through NFL games, college football, MLB. So make sure you hit us up with your questions. Chris Films, I'd go Brock Purdy. Chris Films, I'd go Brock Purdy. Jeter, will Aaron Jones be healthy enough to start? Yes, he will. I expect Aaron Jones to play. Start Fields or Purdy? Kevin Harrell. I have to go with Purdy. Purdy's the play for me. Dravi traded Laporta and Addison for Ridley and Watson. I actually think it's a good trade. It's two upstarts for two established players. I like it. I think you got a lot of value out of the rookies early. I think the veterans will have value as the season goes along. Lewis, Dell, or Moore. It's really tough for me, but I'm going to lean towards DJ Moore just slightly. Jesse Courier, Goff, or Burrow. You got to go with Burrow. I know the injury's concerning, but he's going up against a bad pass defense in the Tennessee Titans, so that's where I come out on that one. Traded Puka and Johnson for Laporta and Watson. What do you think? Love the trade, Jeff. Like Laporta and Watson. That's a good duo to be getting. Brian Robinson for Christian Watson. I love having the running back and the consistency of Brian Robinson, so I lean in that direction overall. But if you need the upgrade at wide receiver, Watson coming back from injury, I think he's got good weeks ahead of him. DK or Addison for the flex. I got to go DK Metcalf on this one. Addison has a tougher matchup than you would think against Carolina. But beyond that, DK going up against the Giants, I think is going to have a big game on Monday Night Football, Tyler. So I like DK a little bit more. Thanks so much for the question. I have Etienne, Walker, Kamara, Brian Robinson, and Pierce. Should I trade Mostert and Kyron for Kupp? I answered the question before. I stand by what I said. Yeah, I don't value Cooper Kupp. Other people value him differently than I do. Chris Films, Ford, Palmer, and Madison for the flex. I might lean slightly towards Jerome Ford this week, just barely over Palmer. Ridley in London, Addison or Flowers. I'm probably going to go Ridley number one. Zay Flowers or Addison in the flex. It's very close for me. The difference being a PPR league. If you're in a PPR league, I value Zay Flowers a little bit more than Addison. If you're in a standard league, I actually feel like I value Addison more. He's more of a down-the-field threat, so when he does have a catch, the likelihood of a touchdown is higher, the likelihood of a bigger play is higher. Tutu, Sutton, or DJ Moore. I still have to lean maybe slightly towards DJ Moore on this one. Sutton, only because there are enough options in that offense. DJ Moore, I hate it. There's nothing about it I like. But probably Moore slightly over Sutton. It's close, though. Christian Kirk or Tutu. Brandon, I'd go Christian Kirk. Jorge, Aaron Jones is going to play tomorrow. I expect him to play. Sell high on Mike Evans. I'd be fine with that if I were you, as long as you're getting good return for him. Once we hit 5,000 likes on TikTok, we're going to give out one of our favorite bets of the day. So make sure you're hitting us up. Tap that screen if you're watching on TikTok. We're going to give out one of our favorite MLB bets of the day. One of our favorite MLB bets will be coming at you once we hit 5,000 likes. Breece Hall or Marvin Mims. Interestingly enough, I think I like Marvin Mims a little bit more, user 168. I think that Breece Hall is going to have a tough time running against the Chiefs. I traded Hurts and Deshaun. I traded Hurts for Deshaun and A.J. Brown. Trench, I'm so confused by your question. Sorry, I'm moving on. B. Hall and DJ Moore for Jacobs and Dotson. I'd rather have Hall and DJ Moore, I think. Goddard or Laporta. I'd go with Laporta this week. Once we get up to 5,000 likes, we're going to give out an MLB pick, everybody. Who do I start for a flex? DJ Moore, Elijah Moore, George Pickens, Zay Flowers. It's very close for me on this one. That Steelers matchup going up against the Texans makes me think that George Pickens is probably the best play, Dom G 4X. I probably lean towards Pickens just slightly. If it's a PPR, Zay Flowers has a lot of value in a PPR league. But for now, I'm going to lean towards Pickens. Sutton or Dell. KN, I'm going to lean towards Sutton. What to trade Andrews for? I don't know. What do you need? Do you need a running back? Do you need a wide receiver? It depends on what your needs are. Brian Robinson or Jalen Warren. I'm going to lean towards Jalen Warren, believe it or not. I don't like Brian Robinson's matchup going up against the Eagles. Very tough matchup. I'll go with Jalen Warren. Chris Films, I'd go with Tank Dell. And on that one, I'd go Robinson. Robinson and Dell on that one. Thanks so much. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're having a great day. If you are watching on TikTok, YouTube, Twitch, or Kick, make sure you hit the follow button. Make sure you subscribe. Really appreciate all the support you show, the content, and the show. Tyler, Kenneth Walker, or Alvin Kamara. Tyler, I'd go Kenneth Walker. Coop 5 Mac, what's good? Hope you're having a great day. Carter Newman, I would lean towards Herbert, and I'd lean towards Kamara. I think it's very close, though. Should I trade Gibbs for Breece Hall in a dynasty league? No, absolutely not. Jordan, start 2. Derrick Henry, Kyren Williams, Miles Sanders. Jordan, I'm going to go with Derrick Henry, and I'm going to go with Kyren Williams. So it's Henry and Williams for me. What's our plan for the day? We're going to give out some picks, including right now, we're going to give out an MLB game pick for all of you folks that want all of our picks every single day. Just DM us on Instagram. But the first pick we're going to give out, we're going to take the Rays on the money line here. Rays on the money line, minus 130. Rays on the money line. I know that the Red Sox have their best pitcher on the mound in Brian Bayo, but I trust Tyler Glasnow a whole lot more. Glasnow on the mound has been outstanding, not just this year, but against the Red Sox, specifically on the other side. Bayo, he's struggled a bit of late. I think that opposing teams are starting to figure him out a bit more. Walks have been a bit of a problem. So with that said, I like the Rays on the money line. First bet that we're giving out today, Rays on the money line. Every time we hit 5,000 likes on TikTok, we're going to give out one of our favorite bets of the day. So keep tapping that screen. Pittman, Moss, Kyren Williams, please pick 2. I'm going to lean towards Pittman. It's tough because I don't want to double up on the Colts. That's the problem. I really like Pittman and Moss overall. I like both of them, but I don't really want to double up on both of the Colts. So that's the slight hesitation there. Moss for Olave, absolutely. Moss's value, even if Jonathan Taylor is traded, goes down because sooner or later opposing teams are just going to focus on trying to stop the run. Matt, Mostert, Bijan, or Kamara. I would go with Mostert, and Bijan would be my favorite. Matt, I'd probably go with Bijan number 1, Mostert number 2, Kamara would be 3 out of that group. Jay Willie, Myles Garrett, 3 sacks feels a little high. I could see him getting 2. I'll definitely say that. So we cashed in on our sacks bets last week. We did really well on our sacks bets. We are going to go back to that this week. Myles Garrett absolutely is going to be one of those players for over half a sack that we're going to be looking at. But that's not the only one. TJ Watt, I definitely have my eye on him. So I saw earlier today on the Pat McAfee show that JJ Watt will be in attendance for that game as he is inducted into the Ring of Honor for the Texans. Don't you think that TJ Watt is going to be hyped to get a sack in front of his brother, playing in front of JJ? I know those seem like obscure variables, but I think those matter. I like both of them to get a sack, parlay those 2 legs together, and consider it a cashing ticket waiting to happen. Ford and Mahomes for Allen and Bijan. I'd rather have Allen and Bijan, that's for sure. Brendan Garcia, is this a bad trade? Jefferson for Kittle, A.J. Brown, Moss, and Hall. No, it's not a bad trade at all. You're getting enough in return, certainly. Jameson for Pittsburgh in a Dynasty League. User 81, I love that trade. Love the trade to get Jameson for a defense, any defense. I feel good about that in a dynasty league. Robinson or Gibbs, Carter Newman, I would go Gibbs. Think Jacobs can turn it around. I do, in terms of, I think he's going to have his best games ahead of him. I still don't think that he's going to be as productive this year as he has been in the past. Debo or A.J. Brown this week, I probably lean still. It's very close. I want to say A.J. Brown simply because I think he is a solid number one on that team. But Debo has the better matchup, Luis. So it's a bit of a toss-up. I lean towards A.J. Brown just slightly, but both players are going to have good games. What should you bet for the Packers game? How about this? When we get up to, if someone donates on YouTube, or if we get up to 10,000 likes on TikTok, we will give out a pick for tonight's game. Nick? Wow. Nick DiMaggio. What's good, dog? What's your question? I traded Gibbs, Flowers, Henry for Etienne, Laporta. Thoughts? I'd rather have Gibbs, Flowers, and Henry. I think it's a bad trade. There you go, Nick. Nico. Brewers bounce back today? Brewers, I think, might have a bit of a hangover, but yeah, I probably do like them today. We'll talk about that game in a little bit. Trade Moss for Najee. No. G-Rabbit, I still wouldn't do that. Mikey, in a dynasty league, drop Mooney or Shaheed. I'd probably drop Mooney at this point. I just don't trust the offense. I say that and he'll probably have a bounce back week, but I don't trust him long term. Trade Mostert and Kirk for Jacobs. Tyler, no. Tyler, absolutely don't do that deal. Elliott, should I start Gibbs or Achan? I'd start Gibbs. Elliott, I'd start Jahmyr Gibbs. Brandon, I have Mahomes. What would you want to get if someone wanted to trade for him? See, one, I wouldn't trade him. There are certain players I don't trade. Mahomes, Jalen Hurts, if I had them, like those guys I'm not trading at all. Only because I probably drafted them with the notion that I'm locking in that position and just it's sealed. But if I am trading them, I've got to get like a Pollard. Like I've got to get someone of real value because I'm dropping so much value from the quarterback I have to who I'm getting or who comes next. Because you're never going to replace a Mahomes with someone who's in the same ballpark again unless it's like a Hurts. So I really don't like trading him, but if you did, you'd have to get high value. Trade Puka, Pittman, and Ford for Keenan Allen. I'm not as crazy about that as I was. I actually liked Keenan Allen more when Mike Williams wasn't there. Now opposing defenses can focus on him even more. I'm not as crazy about that. I wouldn't do it. I give 8th pick Henry, and Hollywood I get 10th Laporta and Aguilar. I actually like it. Wait a minute. You're giving the... No, I don't like it. You're giving the worst pick. You're giving the 8th pick. You're giving Henry. No, that's a bad trade, Colby. Don't do that trade. Colby, don't do that trade. Colby, that's a bad trade. Hobie, I'd rather have Quentin Johnston. Believe it or not, I actually saw a stat earlier today that Joshua Palmer is one of those players who actually does better when Mike Williams is in the lineup. So, here's a perfect example. We talked about Josh Kelly. We thought Josh Kelly would be a good substitute for Austin Eckler. However, there's a lot of data behind the fact that when Austin Eckler was out, Josh Kelly actually performed worse. One of the reasons I've been advising you guys to kind of avoid him over the last few weeks. Same thing can be said about Josh Palmer. Josh Palmer actually performs better when Mike Williams is on the field. Take Mike Williams off the field, he might get more targets. He actually doesn't have better production. I think Quentin Johnston actually could have better production because he's going to truly slot into that Mike Williams role more so than Palmer will. So just an interesting note for you guys. Kamara or Swift? I like Swift this week. I'd go Swift. Thoughts on Chase? Think he could have a monster week this week. I love Jamar Chase this week. Pick 4, Stevenson, Puka, Wilson, Collins, Pickens, Monty, Madison. Okay, we got a lot going on, Kevin Moore. I'd go Stevenson. I'd go Pickens for sure. I'd probably go Collins. And I'd check if Montgomery's healthy, those would be the 4. Trade Adams for Najee and Keenan Allen. Yes, I probably would. It's very close, though. It's very close. Sam, you think Kittle and Aaron Jones for ETN and Pitts is a good trade? I'll use Laporta instead. Yes, it is. Yes, it is a good trade. Think Taylor will end up playing this year, and for value, sounds like he's going to play, but I don't know if he's going to end up playing for the Colts. Really questionable. Colby, guys, man, I love you guys, but I'm trying to help you sometimes. Colby, ask the question again. I can't find the original question, so ask the question again. Trade Moss for Waddle. Yes. Connor, I would rather have Waddle. Yes. Mr. Lopez, I'd rather go with Watson. Mr. Lopez, I'd rather go with Watson. Colby, now I like that trade. Colby, now I like that trade. Yes. Do you think it's fair for your league mates to veto a trade that the two traders wanted to do? Do I think it's fair? Sure. Do I think it's weak as hell? Yeah. Do I think it's puss? Yeah, I absolutely do. I think it's a cat in a pool. I think it's wet puss. But at the same time, I'm not going to say that it's not fair. I mean, it's fair. If it's a rule in the league, it's fair. I'm just going to say it's also weak as hell. It's in the same category of if you have a lead in a game and you decide that you don't start like your defense, or you don't start your flex because you have a lead, like you could do that. It's fair. It's just weak as hell. You could do that though. Dante, trade Barkley and Higgins for Waddle, Ridley, and Parker. Yes, Dante. Love that. Rather have Waddle, Ridley, and Walker anyway. So, yes, I love that. Feruz. No, I think it's a fair trade either way. Henry or Laporta. I'm going to lean towards Laporta, I think. Lucas Maggio. I would go with Christian Kirk and I'd go Ayuk. Lucas Maggio, I'd go Kirk and Ayuk, just barely over Judy. Garrett Garcia, wait. Say that again so I could send my league mates because it wasn't a rule. No, I think it's weak as hell. I think that if you veto trades when the two owners want it to be done, I think it's weak as hell. I think the ways that vetoes should happen is if someone actually wants to regret the trade, or if it's so lopsided. I will say this. If it's such a lopsided trade, if there's clear collusion, if there's something that's like, oh, that dude doesn't play at all, like that's the dude who forgets to set his lineup, and he's giving his 2 stars to this other league for like 2 bench players, yes, I would veto it. However, if the two owners this early in the year want to make the trade and it's not glaringly obvious that it's not fair, then I think it's a trade that should be allowed to go down. Pick up Josh Downs. Trevor Zemba, I actually think that's a great idea to a certain extent. I think he's actually one of those rookies that's due to pop. We saw a few of them do that over the last week or two. I think he's the next one that's going to get everyone's attention. The problem is which week to start him. This week might be a good one, actually, because the Minnesota Vikings secondary is god-awful. So Trevor Zemba, if you're in like a 16-man league, 14-man league, I think Josh Downs could actually be a sneaky good play. Bolin, I traded AR-15 for Moss. My starter is Herbert. Okay, I like that. That's fine. That's fine. Carter Newman. I'm not crazy about that trade because Brian Robinson and Kenneth Walker. Walker's going to have the better week this week, but week in, week out, it's very close. Very, very close. Jorge, I would start Walker and Aaron Jones. Jorge, Walker and Aaron Jones. I believe in Aaron Jones this week, but if you wanted to start Jacobs, I'd understand that as well. But Walker is a must-play this week. Jake, I'm going to lean slightly towards Tutu Atwell, maybe just slightly. Drop Trevor Lawrence for Stafford. Sam, absolutely not. No, Sam, don't do that. Please, God. CJ, I'd go Burrow. CJ, I'd go Burrow and Jacobs. CJ Buns, I'd go Burrow and Jacobs. Trade Flowers and Sutton for Ridley. I actually don't like that trade. Flowers and Ridley are closer to being on the same scale as a lot of other players, so or than we would have thought. Fields or CJ Stroud? Okay, guys, I think CJ Stroud is in a bit of a trap this week. I actually think I like Fields a little bit more, Kevin Moore. I hate saying that. I really don't want to say that. CJ Stroud is obviously the popular pick, but I feel like CJ Stroud against the Steelers is a really bad matchup, so I'm not as high on Stroud this week as others are. I would actually bench Stroud this week. If you guys want all of my fantasy, if you guys want all of my bets every single day, we just hit 10,000 likes on TikTok, so we have another pick to give out. I promised you guys I would give out, I'm not going to give out my Lions-Packers pick. I'm actually going to hold off on that till tomorrow. But I am going to give out another MLB game pick. So another MLB game pick coming at you. This one, kind of obvious. Taking the Orioles, but I will take them to cover. I will take the Orioles -1.5. Orioles -1.5, and I would take that at -115, everybody. So Orioles -1.5 at -115. When we hit 15,000 likes, I'm going to give out another pick for all of you folks. Yams, I'd go with Mostert. Yams, I'd go with Mostert. Ferruz. Should I keep Waddle or sell him? Have JJ and... I'd keep Waddle. I think Waddle is very valuable. TB, I'd go Richardson this week. TB, I'd go Richardson. What's the best pick for the Astros-Mariners game? Dante, if you contribute on YouTube or if you guys get me up to 15,000 likes on TikTok, we will give out that pick. So Astros-Mariners is the next game we're going to attack. Thielen or Flowers? Nick, I'm going to still go with Flowers just slightly. Jonas, I would go with DK Metcalf. User 1099. User 1099. I don't like that. I'd rather have Jacobs and Stevenson. I like Pollard a lot, but I'd rather have two running backs over one, especially when they're two what could be really good players. Appreciate all of those being with us. Make sure you've hit that follow button. Who could I trade? Okay, not doing that. Eric, start Hollywood Brown or Boyd. Man. I would start Brown over Boyd. I'd start Brown over Boyd. There you go, Ferruz. Thanks so much. Appreciate it. Appreciate you becoming a subscriber and a follower. Jessica Gray. I think you're giving up a little bit too much. Jessica Gray. But that said, I understand it to some extent, but I think you should ask for a little bit more. Luis Martinez, I'm not huge on Kamara this week. I may like him more in weeks to come. It depends on who the quarterback is. The reason I don't like him, if it's Jameis Winston, don't you feel like the opposing defense is going to say, hey, we have to stop them more than anything? Jacoby Myers or Mike Evans? Good question. I'm going to lean slightly towards Mike Evans because I don't think Jimmy G's going to start this week. Stevenson, Flowers for Eckler. I'd rather have Stevenson and Flowers. Trade Waddle and Herbert for Hill and Lamar Jackson. I'd rather have Hill and Jackson. Moss or Madison? Yams, I'd go Moss. At 15,000 likes, we will give out another pick for everybody. At 15,000 likes, another pick's coming your way. Appreciate all of you guys being with us every single day across all of our platforms. Appreciate it. Should I trade Mixon for Chris Olave? Yes. Zach, yes, I'd rather have Chris Olave. Cooper Kupp's value, I think he could be closer. I think he's going to get a lot of targets. My question is about health. I think he is a wide receiver one when healthy. My concern is, can he stay healthy? His injury history just has me worried. Hamstrings are tough. Yes or no? I get Burrow, Devontae Adams. Is it Devontae Adams or Swift? I give up Lamar. Okay, I'd rather have Burrow, Adams, and Swift. Diego Gonzalez. Trade Andrews, Keenan Allen, and White for Kelsey, Jacobs, and Ridley. Yes, I would do that deal. Carter, no more drafts. If you really wanted it, we could think about it. But Logan, I'm going to lean slightly towards Waller. I'm going to go towards Waller. IP Shade 45. How cool is that? Thanks so much for the drink. I'm feeling a little parched myself. Isaiah Bolin, start 3. Puka, Judy, Moss, White, Javonte. I'd go Javonte Williams. I'd go Moss. And I'm going to lean towards Puka. Isaiah Bolin, it's Puka, Moss, and Williams for me. Nathan, I'm going to go with Ford, and I'm going to go with Sanders. Ford and Sanders, Nathan. Should I trade Addison and Pierce for Ramondre Stevenson and Elijah Moore. No. If it's Damian Pierce, absolutely not. I'd rather have Addison and Damian Pierce. Jorge, I'm going to lean towards Njoku, I think. It's close. Troy Williamson, I got Etienne, Jacobs, and Dotson. I gave Gino, Puka, and Cook. I like the trade. Troy Williamson, I like the trade. Thanks, Funny. Thanks so much. Romero, Etienne, A.J. Brown, and oh, I love that deal. Romero, good trade. Romero, I think that's a good trade. Drew, would you trade J.J., Gibbs, Ford, and Brandon Cooks for Ayuk, Saquon, Trevor Lawrence? No. Drew, I don't think you're getting enough value back. Drew, 73.82. I don't think you're getting enough value back. Zay Flowers or Tutu. I'm going to lean towards Zay Flowers, especially in a PPR. Thoughts on Evan Ingram and Swift for Kelsey? I'm stacked at running back. I don't feel like you can ever be too stacked at running back because you're always an injury away. But if you're getting Travis Kelsey, I totally get it. So Mesmerize, I love it because you're getting Kelsey. Interesting that you're trading Swift to get Kelsey. Yeah, I went there. Make sure you guys hit that follow button. Jordan Addison, Michael Thomas, Romeo Dobbs, Jaden Reed to replace Mike Williams. Out of that entire group, I'd probably say Michael Thomas will be number 1 season long. Addison would be number 2. I think Michael Thomas, when Derek Carr is healthy, is a great option week in, week out. EC2, T. Higgins. EC2, I'd go T. Higgins. He has a great matchup this week. Jesse Courier. Really tough for me between Swift and Henry. I'm going to lean towards Henry. He's got the better matchup. He's due for a big game. I think Derrick Henry actually has a nice performance this week, but I think both actually have good games. Gavin Rourke, I'd go with Tank Dell. Gavin, I'd go Tank Dell. TJ Dixon. I need 2 to start. I'd go Swift and I'd go Ayuk. Swift and Ayuk. It's very close between Moss and Ayuk, but I'll go Ayuk. Act JJ. Christian Kirk. Act JJ, I'd go Christian Kirk. Anthony, I'm dropping OBJ, picking up Dotson. Good move? The answer is yes, because OBJ's injured, so you might as well get value out of the position, but Thielen or Tutu, Brandon, I'm going to lean slightly towards Tutu, but it's close. Do I trade Chase for Ayuk, Williams, and Etienne? I'd be okay with that. You're getting enough value back, Theo Clark. Daniel, I got Mostert, Kyron Williams, Saquon, Joe Mixon. Who do I start for week 4? You don't know what the status of Saquon is just yet. I hate Joe Mixon this week, so I'd avoid him. I'd go Mostert would probably be the one right now. Mostert number 1. You're kind of stuck between Kyron, who plays on Thursday, Saquon, who plays on Monday. I'd probably play Mostert, but if Saquon's a full start on Monday night, you might know that by Sunday. Then I would go with Saquon if you can get him at full health. Christians, should I trade Diggs and Breece Hall for Amon-Ra, St. Brown, and Connor? The answer is no. Christian, the answer is no. Jessica Gray, Mixon, Keenan Allen, and Goddard for Diggs and Pollard. Jessica Gray, great trade. I'd rather have Diggs and Pollard. Jessica Gray, great trade. Hold Jacob or sell. Josh Jacobs, I think it's tough. I'd rather hold him right now. You're selling him at a low value, so I don't think you're getting what you want back for him. Jorge, start 1 at the flex. It's got to be T. Higgins this week. He's got a really favorable matchup. I've heard to trade Mostert in a lot of Page's thoughts. I wouldn't trade him. I think there's a lot of value there. I know a lot of people are saying, why don't you trade him now, and that way you can maximize the return. But I actually think he's going to be a good season-long option, so I'm not as quick to trade him. When we get up to 15,000 likes, we're going to give out a pick for that Mariners and Astros game. So hit that like button if you're watching on TikTok. Tap that screen. We're going to give out an MLB game pick. Tap that screen, everybody. Let's get up to 15,000 likes. Musgrave or Ferguson, really tough. Isaiah, I'd probably go towards Musgrave, believe it or not. Pedro, that's why we're here. Love the support you guys show us every single day. So grateful for the support. Jorge, thank you. Appreciate the nice comments. You guys are incredibly kind. Thank you. That's why I'm here. Help you guys out with all of your picks, all of your bets, every single day. So grateful for the support. When we hit 15,000 likes on TikTok, we're going to give out an MLB bet. Henry or Moss? I'd go with Derrick Henry this week. I'd go with Derrick Henry. Ryan, I'd go Mostert over James Cook. Mostert over James Cook. It's like people forgot Jeff Wilson exists. I think they have, but at the same time, I think he is kind of out of the loop. Dante, you just hooked us up with you just contributed to us. Dante has just contributed, so we're going to give out some picks, everybody. I'm taking the Astros. I'm taking the Astros in this game. Just want to show you where I'm taking it. Astros playing the Seattle Mariners. I can get the Astros at -120. I think they're going to win this game outright. So I'll take Astros on the money line, -120. Astros on the money line, -120. Additionally, going to give out another bet to say thank you to Dante. I'm also taking the Rangers on the money line. Rangers on the money line. That one is a -156. -156. Dante, thanks so much for supporting the show like you do. Appreciate you. Those are the picks we just gave out. When we hit 15,000 likes, I'm going to give out a college football bet. How about that? At 15,000 likes, I'm going to give out a college football bet. So let's tap that screen. I will give out that college football bet at 15,000 likes on TikTok. Thanks so much, Dante, by the way. Tony Smith, thanks so much for supporting the show. Thanks so much for the kind words. Colby, what should I do with Stevenson, Sanders, Javonte? I like Stevenson and Javonte this week. Stroud or Burrow, 5 block, you got to go Joe Burrow this week. 5 block, I'd go Joe Burrow. E. Curry, 2. Do you think Charbonnet is going to get more involved? Yes, as the season goes along, they'll use him more and more. William McLean, I have Trevor Lawrence. I could get Fields, Wilson, or Purdy. Should I stick with Lawrence or change it up? This is what I do. Colby, I would pick up Brock Purdy, and I would start Trevor Lawrence, but I think Purdy could be a good option for alternative weeks. Carter, Mike Evans, and Brian Robinson for Kenneth Walker. Carter Newman, I think you're giving up too much in that deal. I'd ask for more. Seth, is Jacobs, Madison, and DJ Moore giving up too much for Ramondre and Dell? I actually don't think so. I think it's a fair trade, actually. Metcalf or Brown? I'm going to lean towards A.J. Brown just slightly. Who do you think I can get from Mike Evans and Mostert, preferably a wide receiver? I mean, I say it to you guys every time I get questions like that. It's about the players it's about the people you're trading with. It's about the other owners in the league. So, Julian, that's an impossible question for me to ask. I don't know who's in your league in terms of the other owners, who's going to be likely to trade or not. So, Julian, this is what I do. Look at the opposing teams. Who's 0-2? Who's 1-1? Who needs to make some moves? Or rather, who's 0-3? Who's 1-2? Who needs to make some trades? Look for those people, reach out to them, make some offers, see what you can get back. Reach and then scale back. That's what I would do. Dante, I'm so flattered by that. Say hi to your dad for me. I really appreciate it. Pick one, Wilson, Judy, Rashad White, or Tank Dell. Isaiah, I'm going to lean towards Jerry Judy, maybe just slightly over Dell. Tank Dell or Puka. I'm going to lean towards Puka. I'll go with Puka. Michael, 210. Michael, 210. I would go with Gibbs. I'd go Gibbs and Montgomery if I'm being honest. Gibbs and Montgomery. You just got to make sure Montgomery's healthy enough to go. Really don't like Joe Mixon this week. Ford or Pacheco. I'm going to lean towards Pacheco just slightly, but it's close. Matt V. Gibbs for Tank Dell and Najee. I don't hate it. Matt V. I'd do that trade. I would do it. I think it's pretty fair. E. Curry 2. Drake London and a second round. Oops. Dropped my dice. Yes, E. Curry 2. I would do that trade. E. Curry 2. I would do that trade. Matt, trade Jacobs for Devontae Smith. Matt, yes, I would. Absolutely. Who should I start, Kamara or Breece Hall? I'd start Kamara. I think. Nick, Ridley or Tank Dell? Nick, I'd go with Calvin Ridley. Tony Smith, Pittsburgh or Philly in baseball tonight? Philly may be resting players. Yeah, Tony, that's why I'm not betting on it. Funny enough, Brewers and the Phillies were two teams I'm not going to bet on tonight, and here's why. I call it the hangover effect. When you've been celebrating in the locker room, makes me a little bit worried that I'm just a little bit worried about it. So, Colby, I answered your question, by the way. I answered your question like 5 minutes ago, Colby. I said Stevenson 1, Javante 2. Yeah, Parker, sometimes, you try your best, but William, I'd go Christian Kirk. William, I'd go Christian Kirk. Thanks so much for the question. Zach Moss, Garrett Wilson, Gibbs, Flowers, or Addison. I'll go with Zach Moss number 1. Jordan Addison would be Zay Flowers would be number 2. Gibbs 3 maybe. I'll go with Zach Moss number 1 on that one. Jorge, you got to let him know. I said Stevenson and Javante would be second. We have hit 15,000 likes, so I want to give out another pick that I like today, everybody. I want to give out another bet that I like today. If you can get it, take the Yankees plus 1.5. If you can, take the Yankees plus 1.5. If you can get this on the alternative line, this is as good a bet as I could possibly feel. It's a minus 205, so not as attractive to some of you. Maybe you need to put that into a leg of a parlay, but at minus 205, I love that bet. I'd pair it with a couple other plays. Garrett Cole on the mound, closing out a Cy Young campaign. Love, love, love that bet. So, those are 5 MLB game picks that I've given out so far. When we hit 20,000 likes, we'll give out another one. Oh, I actually promised you a college football bet. At 20,000 likes, we'll do the college football bet. And it'll be 2. How about this? At 20,000 likes, I'm going to give out 2 college football picks, and they will be my SHARPZ favorite plays of the day. So at 20,000 likes on TikTok, we will give out our 2 college football SHARPZ plays of the day, okay? So at 20,000 likes, that's what we're doing. Seth got offered Mixon for Jacobs. I think it's probably a fair deal. It's pretty close. Robert, should I trade Etienne and Musgrave for Kelsey and Addison? Yes. Robert, I love that trade. Yes, I love the trade. Pogies, good trade. Puka for Lamar. Yes, I do think it's a good trade. MW, what Charger receiver will replace Williams? It's going to be Johnston. Palmer's going to stay in the slot as that outside deep jump ball threat receiver. It's going to be Quentin Johnston. Colton, I'm going to lean slightly, I think, towards Collins. Thank you guys so much for sharing the channel. Thanks so much for following. Really appreciate it. User, Mostert for Lamb. Who wins? The guy who got CD Lamb. I like Mostert. I love CD Lamb. Arton, I get Tyreek for Mostert, Amari Cooper, and Hollywood Brown. I still wouldn't do it. It's probably a fair trade. I still wouldn't do it. Parker Bledsoe, would you do this? I get Waddle and Gibbs for Mixon and Addison. Parker Bledsoe, yes I would. Love that trade. Start Pittman or tank? Blake Bailey, I'd start Pittman. Again, at 20,000 likes, we're going to give out another game pick. Kittle or Laporta? I'd go with Kittle just this week. My friends are trying to compare my veto, which they are doing it because they think my team will be good, and comparing it to the only veto we did last week, my friend was high. Garrett, sounds like there's a lot of kind of inside baseball going on there. sounds like there's a lot of drama in your league. Yeah, Eden G. I'd rather have Jacobs and Waller. Eden G. I'd rather have Jacobs and Waller. Jorge's giving out his lock of the day. He's going with Inter Miami on the money line. Luke, thanks so much for that first gift, buddy. Thanks so much, Luke. Appreciate it. DTK Frenchies. I would lean towards Puka. DTK Frenchies, I'd go towards Puka. Daniel, should I trade Waddle, Ford, and Shaheed for Lamb, Achin, and Jacobs? Yes. Daniel Halfin, yes, I would do that trade. User 4935. I'd rather start... Oh, which one would I trade? I wouldn't trade either one of them. I'm not trading either one of those guys. I'd keep both of them. Lockett or Achane? I'd go Lockett. Aiden, I'd go Lockett. Josh Jeffries, would you trade Alexander Madison or Drake London for Garrett Wilson? I would absolutely do that deal. At this point, I would do that deal. I mean, do I trust who's throwing the ball to Garrett Wilson? I think Garrett Wilson's probably the best player. I would do it, but I don't love it. Tyler, I would start George Kittle. Tyler, I'd start George Kittle. Browns defense looking good. Big J, I'd go Zach Moss, Big J. Chips, playing 2 QB league. Lawrence and Purdy are starting. Should I replace one with Anthony Richardson? It's tough. I like Lawrence and Purdy. I like them both, so probably not this week, but it's tough because I like all 3 quarterbacks this week. Logan, I'd go with Achane. Logan Jones, I'd go with Achane. Garrett Westenberg. Pick 4, I'd go with Lamb. I'd go with Pittman. I'd go with Christian Watson. And I'd go Addison. Lamb, Pittman, Addison, Watson. Keegan, should I trade Debo for Jonathan Taylor and Judy? No, I wouldn't do it. Appreciate all those who are with us every single day. If you haven't done so already, make sure you hit the follow button. James, I would do the trade. Madison and Algier for Barkley. James, I would do that trade. Mark is cute as fuck. Mark is cute AF. I have Justin Jefferson, Waddle, Ridley, James. Who do you bench? You bench you bench Joe Mixon. That would be the one to bench. I'd bench James Conner second. Mixon would be 1, Conner would be 2. James Cook over Gibbs and Moss? No, I wouldn't. I prefer Gibbs and Moss this week. We've hit 20,000 likes, so I'm going to give out those 2 favorite college football bets of this week. 2 college football bets coming at you, and these are my 2 SHARPZ plays of the day. If you want my favorite bets every day, just DM me on Instagram, everybody. I give out my bets every single day on Instagram. Buttfumble Sports on Instagram. DM me, and I will hook you guys up with my favorite bets through the SHARPZ app. So, my 2 favorite college football bets of this week. Let's jump over to college football and check that out. And I'll show you up on the screen if you're watching on YouTube, Twitch, or Kick. And then I'll put it up on the screen as well. So, first one. These 2 actually come from similar parts of the country. So, a little bit of something maybe to that. But the first thing I'm going to take, as I scroll on down to show you guys what the play is. First one that I'm going to take, where is it? Here it is. First one, I'm taking the under. I'm taking the under in Iowa State, Oklahoma. I'm going to take the under. I'm going to take the under in this game. Now, right now I'm getting it at under 48.5. That's a great spot. I still like that. But I'm going to bump it up just a little bit. And I'll take the under 50.5 as my SHARPZ play of the day. I'm going to give out 2. But Iowa State, Oklahoma. I'm taking under 50.5. Under 50.5. And I am getting that at minus 141. I like it at its original line. I love it at the alternative line. Iowa State, Oklahoma, under 50.5. One of my favorite plays of the week. It's my SHARPZ play of the day. But we're going to give out 2. We're going to give out 2 because I promised I would. Next one, also coming from the state of Iowa. Guys, Michigan State, Iowa is going to be dog poop on your porch kind of performance by both of these offenses. I like the under. I like the under in this game. I'm going to ratchet it up once again. I'll take the under at 38.5. That's Iowa, Michigan State, under 38.5. And I'm going to take that minus 148. Love the bet right there. Those are my 2 SHARPZ plays of the day. If you want my bets every single day, my sportsbook is connected to the SHARPZ app. So every bet that I make every single day automatically connects to SHARPZ. So every bet is on the SHARPZ app. If you want all of my bets, DM me on Instagram. I'll hook you guys up with a referral code, and that way you can get all of my bets every single day. I do want to warn you guys might hit me up on Instagram for some fantasy football advice. Don't expect a reply anytime soon. That's all I'm going to say. Damian Skyberg, trade Raheem Mostert for Ridley, Judy, and Cook. Oh, absolutely. Damian Skyberg, yes. You're getting a haul in return. Love that trade. Absolutely. Yep. Joshua Beck. I'd start Bryce Young, believe it or not. Joshua Beck, I'd start Bryce Young. Daniel Jones in primetime, not touching that. Jameis Winston, no way. Bryce Young's facing a bad pass defense, so I'll take Bryce Young. La Cosa Nostra, 801, should I trade Olave for Aaron Jones? The answer is yes, because your wide receiver position's already set. Munoz the Great, I'd go Calvin Ridley. Munoz the Great, I'd go Ridley. Eric, that's a fair trade. That's a fair trade, Eric. User 2072. Who wins the trade? Mark Andrews, Kyron Williams, and Tank Dell, or Hawkinson, DeAndre Swift, and Higgins? It's Hawkinson, DeAndre Swift, and Higgins. Hawkinson, DeAndre Swift, and Higgins. It's a fair trade, but I think Hawkinson, DeAndre Swift, and Higgins win that trade. Appreciate all those who are watching the show. If you haven't done so already, make sure you hit that follow button. Make sure you're subscribing. We are live every single day across TikTok, YouTube, Twitch, and Kick. So make sure you hit that follow button every single day. We are live across all of our platforms every day, so that way you never miss a show. Make sure you hit that follow button right now, everybody. TikTok, YouTube, Twitch, Kick. Make sure you're a follower. Make sure you're a subscriber. That way you never miss our show. We will do a pregame show tomorrow at, let's say, 5 p.m. It'll probably be a 3-hour pregame show for Thursday Night Football. So, again, we will do a pregame show for 3 hours, probably 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. tomorrow night. So make sure you guys hit that follow button. That way you don't miss that pregame show tomorrow. We're not done yet answering all of your fantasy questions, your sports betting questions, everything. But wanted to make sure you guys were aware we will have that Thursday night pregame show at 5 p.m. Eastern tomorrow, and it'll be for 3 hours. So plenty of opportunity to talk some football tomorrow. I have no QB. Trade Swift for Goff. No, just pick up a QB off the waiver wire. Brock Purdy if he's available. Nolan, Miles Sanders over Amari Cooper. Nolan, I'd rather go Amari Cooper this week. Dare I fax 2? I'd go Trevor Lawrence. Dare I fax 2? I'd go Trevor Lawrence. User 207, I'd go Adam Thielen. User 207, I'd go Adam Thielen. Luis, who wins the trade? Mahomes, Chase, Tank Dell, Kelsey, Hurts, Bijan. Okay, Luis, the winner is Kelsey, Hurts, and Bijan. I think the winner would be Kelsey, Hurts, and Bijan. Casey Cabrera traded Swift, Sutton for Brown. Thoughts? Because you lost Mike Williams, I like the deal. I like the deal because I get it now. Yep, I like it. Should I start Alexander Madison? No. No, unless you're absolutely desperate, no. Who won this trade? DK, Puka, Moss for Debo and Pacheco. I'd rather have Debo and Pacheco. Debo and Pacheco won the trade. Los Reyes, I'd go Burrow. Mike Evans or Adam Thielen. I'm going to go with Mike Evans. Sherry? I'm going to lean towards Zach Moss. Zach Moss over Williams and Kamara. Trade Hurts and Rashad White for Jacobs and DK Metcalf. No, don't do that trade. Appreciate all of you guys being with us every single day. If you haven't done so already, make sure you hit the follow button. Make sure you're a follower. We are live every single day. So make sure if you haven't hit that screen and tap that screen and become a follower, make sure you do so right now. Let's get back to some questions. Connor, I traded away Puka for Ford. And Ford and Lamb. Connor, I like the deal. Tyler, should I trade Hurts for Burrow and James Conner? No, I'd rather have Hurts. George Cook, is this guy reading YouTube comments? Clearly I am. Trade Mostert for Joe Mixon. No, I'd rather have Mostert. Jay Paris, Mostert, Madison, Pacheco, and Njoku for Etienne and Evans. It's a fair trade. It's a fair trade. Birdman. I'd rather have Barkley. I'd rather have Barkley. Colin. Would you do Moss for Olave? Yes, I would. Yes, I would. Trade Amon-Ra St. Brown for Chase? Yes, I would. Vexed NF? Yes, I would. FN? Yes. Brant C, I'd start Burrow. Brant C, 1, 2, 3, I'd start Burrow. Start or sit Christian Kirk? I'd start him. I really like Gibbs this week. I like Stevenson, but I'm not. I like Stevenson and Mostert about the same. I'll go with Waddle just slightly. Appreciate all of those who are with us. If you're watching on YouTube, TikTok, Twitch, or Kick, make sure you hit that follow button. I would start Ford. Bula, I'd start Ford. Any early college football or NFL player props? JP, haven't gotten into them just yet. Hawk Moon, I'd go Gibbs. Hawk Moon, I'd go Gibbs. Mona L, really tough. I don't like either one of them this week. I'll lean towards Lamar Jackson, Mona, but I don't like either one. Should I trade Mostert for St. Brown and Pittman? Yes. Isaac Avila, yes I would. Josh, Laporta and Ridley for Gibbs and Cooper. Yes, I like that trade. Yes, I would. Should I trade Hawkinson and St. Brown for Chase and Etienne? Yes, I like that trade. Some good trades that we're seeing. Squealers, hope you're having a great night. Squealers, hope you're having a great night. The Art Dealers, Amari Cooper and Christian Kirk. The Art Dealers, I'd go Cooper and Kirk. Lethal Jake, you just tighten it. Tighten it. You're asking me too much. I'm trying to be fast with everybody. You're asking too much. User, should I start Garrett Wilson, Nico Collins, or Ford? User, I'd start Ford. User, I'd start Ford. Will player prop be? Yes, they will. JP, I will be doing player prop bets in tomorrow's live. Yep. And that live will be at 5 p.m. Eastern time tomorrow. We will be live from 5 p.m. until 8 p.m. tomorrow, giving out player prop bets, NFL game picks, fantasy football advice. So yes, Lucas Maggio. I wouldn't. I think they're about the same. Lucas Maggio. I think it's an even trade. Jacob Mostert and Watson for Bijan and London. No. Jacob Foco. I wouldn't do it. Lethal Jake. No, I wouldn't do it. I'd rather have Michael Thomas. Lethal Jake. I'd rather have Michael Thomas. Paul Love. Thanks so much. Peter. I'd go A.J. Brown. Peter. I'd go A.J. Brown this week. Ryan, I'd go DJ Moore this week. Ryan, I'd go DJ Moore. Landon, I'd rather have Kelsey and Adams. I'd rather have Kelsey and Adams, Landon. Braylon Evans, should I do Ridley and Rashad White for Waddle and Watson? Braylon Evans, I'd rather have Waddle and Watson. Ridley, Tank Dell, Higgins, pick two. I'd go Ridley and Higgins. Ridley and Higgins would be the two. Luka Wilder, I would go with Pickens and Burrow. Wilder, I'd go Pickens and Burrow. Dermott Drew, I'd go Addison and Godwin. Seth, I'd go Michael Thomas. Mr. Lopez, I'm going to lean towards Waddle. Goof Hoops, I would start Tutu. I'd start Tutu. Squealers, I'm going to go with Swift. I'd go Swift. Bar 8-9, I'd go Ridley. Puka and Garrett Wilson for Kyron and Pittman. Yes, I'd rather have Kyron and Pittman. Ramondre or Pacheco. This week, I'd rather start Pacheco. This week, I'd go with Pacheco. Jay Paris. Etienne and Evans for Pacheco and Njoku. I'd rather have Etienne and Evans. Ryan Nicholas, I'd go Zay Flowers. Appreciate all those that are watching the show. If you haven't done so already, make sure you hit the follow button, everybody. Make sure you're hitting the follow button. If you're watching on YouTube, TikTok, Twitch, or Kick, make sure you hit the follow button. I know we've got over 200 people watching on TikTok. Hit that follow button. That way you never miss our show. We're live every single day answering your fantasy football questions. Breaks and Lotto. I'm going to lean slightly towards Brees Hall, I actually think. I'd go Brees Hall, believe it or not. J Mamba. Rest of season, I'm going to go Pittman. Rest of season, I'll go Pittman. Amari Cooper for Hollywood Brown and Rachaad White. No, I'd rather have Amari Cooper. Ryan Hazelwood, I'd go Pickens. Ryan Hazelwood, I'd go Pickens. Zig Mover, I would rather have... Wow, that's tough. Zig Mover, I think I'd rather have Kamara and Higgins. It's close, though. Zig Mover, I'd go Kamara and Higgins. I'd rather start Zach Moss this week. Zach Moss over Achan. William McLean, you got to go Olave over Michael Thomas. There's a reason he's number one in the depth chart. Appreciate you guys being with us. Garrett Wilson or Kyron Williams. Cam McDonald, I'd go Kyron Williams. Andrew, Garrett Wilson or Nico. Andrew, I'm going to lean slightly towards Garrett Wilson, believe it or not. I think it's close. I'm not crazy about it, though. Smitty, Lamar Jackson or Daniel Jones. Smitty, I'd go Lamar Jackson. I don't trust Daniel Jones in prime time. Judy or Palmer. MP07. MP07, I'd go Jerry Judy. Paul Love, thanks so much, buddy. Aiden S. Aiden S, I actually think that's a good trade. Yes. Dayton, Dayton, I don't like either one. Mason Berger, I would rather have Devontae Smith and Moss. Mason Berger, I'd rather have Devontae Smith and Moss. BRDEL. BRDEL. I'd go T. Higgins over Tank Dell. Vexed FN. Should I trade Hawkinson, St. Brown, and Palmer for Chase and ETN? That's a fair trade. That's a fair trade. I'd do it. George Cook. Pollard and Kirk for Christian McCaffrey. No, I think you're giving up too much, actually. Scary Terry and Moss for Debo. Pedro, I'd do the trade, yes. Jackson or Watson? I'd probably lean towards Deshaun Watson this week. Musgrave or Goddard? Fireface Ginger. I'm going to go Luke Musgrave just barely. The Art Dealers. Would you trade Amari for Jonathan Taylor if you have depth at wide receiver already? I'm not crazy about it, but if you want to take the gamble, I understand it. If I answer your question, make sure you're a follower. Really appreciate it. Breaks and Lottos. I'd go Watson and Judy. I think it's close. Watson and Judy, I think. Start Burrow or Prescott. Joe Men. Joe Men, I'd go Burrow. I'd go Joe Burrow. Tank Dell or Nico Collins. Brookie V, I'd go Nico Collins, I think. Dayton, I'd go David Njoku. Dayton, I'd go David Njoku. Peyton, I'd go Joe Burrow over Wilson. Peyton, I'd go Joe Burrow over Wilson. Ace, I'd go with Swift over Stevenson. Ace, I'd go Swift over Stevenson. Dad's Life. Trade Puka for Keenan Allen? Absolutely. Dad's Life, I pulled the trigger on that trade. Absolutely. Robinson for Kelsey? Josh W. Love the trade. Absolutely. RB Needy. Trade target for Tank Dell? I don't think you're going to get great value back. Maybe you could get someone who's kind of been struggling. I don't think a Josh Jacobs is available, but always can ask. Jacob, I have Hill, Keenan Allen, and Olave in a 12-man. Do I keep all three, assuming... The answer is I'd keep all three, because at worst you have a good option at the flex every week. So I wouldn't trade them unless you really need to upgrade at running back. Russ over Lamar. Seth, it's probably the right decision. It's hard for me to actually give the go-ahead, but against the Bears, that's probably right, Seth. But, boy, do I not like it. Joe Men, I would go DJ Moore. Joe Men, for that reason, I'd go DJ Moore. Same idea. Thielen might be a good start this week. Adam Thielen might be a good start this week, folks. Yep, against a bad secondary of the Vikings. Mixon for Moss and Amari Cooper. Exotic Z, I like that trade. Moss and Amari Cooper, I like it. Hope you guys have hit that follow button. If you haven't already, make sure you're a follower of Butt Fumble Sports. We're live every single day, so if you haven't done so already, we've got 230 people watching just on TikTok alone. Make sure you hit the follow button. That way you never miss our show. Man vs. Vegas. All right, so Tank, Jalen, and Hunter for Hawkinson, Hollywood Brown, and Akers. Really interesting. I'm not crazy about it, if I'm being honest. I'd rather have Tank, Jalen, and Hunter, but I understand that Hawkinson's the best player, but I'm not crazy about it. Brandon Castillo, I traded away Barkley, Hurts, and Mixon for Pollard, Olave, and James Cook. I like it, but I'm not crazy about it, Brandon. It's fine, but I'm not crazy about it. Ryan Hazelwood, I go Kyron Williams. Ryan Hazelwood, I go Kyron Williams. Eric Hong, trade Ford for Swift. Yes, Eric Hong, yes I would. Pipco, Christian Watson and first round rookie for A.J. Brown. Yes, I would do that trade. Colin McCabe, trade away Mostert and Andrews for Kelsey and Aaron Jones and Pittman. Colin McCabe, yes I would. Yes I would. Olave or CD. Peter, I'd go CD. No, Peter, I'd go Olave. No. I'm flip-flopping here because Jameis Winston's going to be the quarterback for the Saints, most likely. So Peter, I'd go CD Lamb, even though he's got a bad matchup. I'd go CD Lamb, and I'd go Brock Purdy. Peter, I'd go CD Lamb, and I'd go Brock Purdy. I think Tua, I love that. I love what he's doing, but I don't think he's going to replicate last week this week. So tougher matchup against the Bills. Lucas, Devontae Smith for Puka and Jonathan Taylor. Lucas, I kind of like it. I think it's just enough value back, enough risk to do it. Josh Angel, I like Amari Cooper more for the rest of the season. Josh Angel, I'd go Amari Cooper. Brandon Castillo, I have Moss, also Jordan Love, Stephon Diggs. Okay. Trade Ford for Metcalf? Yes. Zig Mover? Yes. Yelima? Trade Mostert and Thielen for Gibbs and Higgins. Yes, I would. Tem, love the trade. Paul Love, thanks so much for supporting the show. Thanks so much, Paul Love. Really appreciate you. Drew, 73. Trade Garrett Wilson for CeeDee Lamb. Drew, 7382. Yes, yes, yes. Make that deal right now. Appreciate you guys being with us every day. We will have a pregame show tomorrow at 5 p.m. tomorrow, everybody. 5 p.m. tomorrow. So if you want all of my fantasy football advice, if you want player prop bets, if you want game pick for tomorrow night's game, make sure you join us at 5 p.m. Eastern Time tomorrow, everybody. 5 p.m. Eastern Time tomorrow. Kingpin, I think that's a fair trade. Kingpin, I think it's a fair trade. I think you're probably giving up a little bit too much, but it's okay. Zach, I have Jefferson, Devontae, Puka, and Pickens. What trade do I make to replace Najee? I don't know, dude. I hate open-ended questions like that, if I'm going to be honest with you guys, because there's so many things I could answer, and I will always go back to it's about who in your league would be willing to make a trade. What other owners in your league can you pick off? Can you rip off? Let's be honest. Gio, accept this trade. James Cook for Christian Kirk? Yes. Christian Kirk or Kirk Cousins. I'd rather have the Kirk over Cook. Trade Jacobs for Henry. Terrence, yes. Terrence, yes. Noah, should I trade Gibbs and Diggs for Waddle and Eckler? Yes. Noah, I like the deal. Does Olave lose value this week? Yes, he does. TB, I'd go Javonte Williams this week. Yeah, this week it's a good matchup. TB, I'd go Javonte Williams. Nuve, EDK, I'd go Amari Cooper. Noah, I'd go Addison. Noah Fabiani, I'd go Addison. Caden Logan, I'd go Kenneth. Oh, man. Caden, it's a good trade. It's a good trade. This week, I love Kenneth Walker. That's the problem. W. Feldner, I'd go Judy. Stefan, should I accept this trade? Kyron Williams? No, I'd rather have Gibbs. Ant, Robinson or Brees? I'd rather have Robinson. Brian Robinson. Do I use Eckler over James Cook this week? Yes, Nicholas. If Eckler plays, you gotta play him. Liam, gotta start Dameon Pierce. I like Dameon Pierce a lot this week. Think he could have a really good week. Griffin Boyle, I'd go with Pacheco. Tank Deller, Ridley in week 4. MD Souza, I'd go Calvin Ridley. Dan, I'd go with Lockett. PB, Aaron Jones the rest of the season. If you guys haven't done so already, make sure you hit that follow button. We are live every day. Make sure you hit that follow button. If you're watching on TikTok right now, make sure you're one of the 55,000 followers that we have on TikTok. So make sure you hit that follow button today. Which side of this trade wins? Jefferson and Javonte, or Etienne, Amon-Ra St. Brown, and Ramondre Stevenson? I'll say Etienne, Ramondre Stevenson, and Amon-Ra St. Brown, but it's close because Jefferson's that good on his own. Brandon Castillo, thanks so much for subscribing, buddy. You like Pollard or Barkley more? This week, I like Saquon Barkley if he's healthy, but you won't know. So I like Barkley more if he's healthy. I prefer Moss over Pacheco, though. Moss over Pacheco. Final few minutes of the show, everybody. Final few minutes of the show. I'm still battling a bit of a Crohn's attack here. Yeah, Crohn's is a bit of a pain in the ass. So I'm going to hop off in about a minute. Make sure you guys hit that follow button. I'm live every single day across all of our platforms, TikTok, YouTube, Twitch, and Kick. Even when I may not be at 100% health, I'm still live every single day. So make sure you hit the follow button. That way you never miss a show. That way you never miss our content, and you always get your questions answered. Joe, I'd go with Moss over Mostert and Pacheco. Moss over Mostert and Pacheco. Josh Angel. Walker or Laporta the rest of the season? It would be Walker. Cyclops Daddy, I'd go Moss. Cyclops Daddy, I'd go Moss. Nick, I'd go Moss. D-Mac, I'd go Watson. Sean S, I don't like that trade. Sean S, I'd rather have Lamar Jackson. Zay, I would start Tank Dell because I don't think Jimmy G's going to play. Unless you like Aiden O'Connell. I kind of like it, actually. Zay, if Aiden O'Connell plays, I might like Zay, I might like Jacoby Myers more, so if you have not done so already, make sure you hit that follow button, everybody. Okay, I'm going to hop off because I'm in some pain right now, but I will be back. I'll probably do a subscriber-only show later tonight. If you're a subscriber on TikTok, I will do a show exclusively for you guys tonight, so make sure you subscribe on TikTok. I will do an exclusive show for subscribers tonight on TikTok, so if you have not done so, subscribe on TikTok. That will be exclusive. IP Shade 45, you know how we do it. I'll do that later tonight. Josh, I'll answer your question later tonight. If you're a subscriber, I will answer all of your questions tonight on TikTok. Tonight we'll do a subscriber-only show, exclusive subscriber-only show. Brent, you know how we do. We pay off all those who contribute to the show and all those that are subscribers. So make sure you guys subscribe on TikTok. That way you can ask your questions during our show. We'll do that later tonight. I'm feeling like it's going to be at 10, but we'll see. Anyways, guys, really appreciate you guys being with us. Hope you guys really enjoyed the show. If you want all of my bets every single day, make sure you DM me on Instagram, ButtFumble Sports on Instagram. Make sure you DM me on Instagram, everybody. If you want all of my sports bets every single day, we have been rocket hot. We have been red hot. We have been scorching hot of late. So make sure you hit me up on Instagram, ButtFumble Sports on Instagram, and I will hit you up with a referral code for the SHARPZ app. Guys, I would love to stay on longer, but I'm having a bit of pain from Crohn's. If you guys have Crohn's, you know what I'm saying. If you don't, it's just a pain in the stomach. So forgive me. I would love to stay on longer. I really would, but I'm going to hop off now and try to feel a little bit better. I will be on later tonight for subscribers, so make sure you guys subscribe. And of course, we are live every single day. If you want to catch the show for everybody, subscribers, non-subscribers, everybody, 5 p.m. Thursday. 5 p.m. Eastern Time on Thursday. We will be live for everybody. We will be back live for everybody at 5 p.m. Eastern Time on Thursday. Hope you guys enjoyed the show. Can't wait to see you guys later tonight if you subscribe, or tomorrow if you guys watch that show then. Appreciate all of you guys being with us every single day. Hope you guys stay healthy. Hope you stay safe. Hope you guys have a wonderful night. Go cash some tickets. We will be live later tonight for subscribers, tomorrow at 5 p.m. for everybody else. Hope you have a great night, everybody. If you don't know, I love you guys. You guys make my company possible. I am so grateful for the support. Thank you guys so much. I am so grateful every single day for the support you guys show us. So if I don't say it enough, I hope you guys know I am so grateful. I hope you guys have a wonderful night, a wonderful evening. I hope wherever you are, you guys are just crushing it. Thank you guys so much for supporting me every single day, and I will see you guys either later tonight or tomorrow. Goodbye, everybody.